Hey guys! So we've made it to the end of Inktober with a video for every day of Inktober. I am so excited. Honestly, when I started this challenge and I decided to give myself the additional guidelines of making a video for each and every illustration, I didn't know if I was going to succeed. At one point, I did end up shifting all of the videos by one day, but that was a conscious decision that I did for my own sanity, and I am 100% okay with that. I still feel like I completed this challenge, and every illustration was done within the confines of October. It's just the video that's been shifted by one day, so I'm very excited. And for today's illustration, I ended up doing a piece that has been sort of percolating in my brain for a couple of weeks now. I knew that it was something I was very excited about doing, and so I wanted to save it for the final day. I'm not completely sure why I'm so excited about it, but I am. In the end, I'm very happy with the way that it turns out, so I am glad that I saved it for last, so I can end the month on a high note. So moving a little bit away from the illustration itself, I thought in today's video I could discuss the things I've learned this month in particular. I completed so many pieces this month that it would have taken me 4 months to create this much work on a normal schedule. So I was producing things at pretty much 4 times the speed that I typically do. And although at certain times this got a little bit stressful and I would have liked to have another day or two to let the ideas really properly steep, I think one of the main things I learned this month was just how much I'm capable of doing. Though I don't think that there's anything wrong with giving yourself a break every now and again, I think this month was really confirmation for me that I can do it. I can do a lot and not completely burn myself out. And that in and of itself is extremely comforting to me. I learned that the process of creating artwork, at least for me, is more of a mind over matter kind of thing. If I can convince myself to get started, I typically will enjoy the process of creating the artwork. And that's something I will definitely continue to apply in the future. Just get started. Just work for 5 minutes and before you know it, you will have a finished illustration on your hands. Kind of staying in this abstract idea, I think another thing I learned is that I work better in the mornings than I do in the evenings. When I ended up shifting my schedule around a bit, I ended up doing my illustrations later in the evening as opposed to earlier in the morning, and those pieces became much more difficult to complete. When I was working first thing in the morning, I didn't quite have that procrastination mindset yet. I hadn't really done anything difficult yet, and so there was a lot of motivation and a lot of ready-to-go feelings. Whereas when I started working later in the evenings, I had had the whole day to completely zone out, and although I was doing work, I was doing things like editing, it was enough to exhaust me and make me not want to do my creative work. For this reason, the latter part of the month was harder for me, and I don't know that it was because the month was almost over. I think a lot of it had to do with the time I was doing pieces at. So that is something else I would also like to apply to my future art. Work earlier in the morning. As I am recording this, it is currently November 1st, which means it's the very first day of NaNoWriMo. I got started with my writing very early this morning while I was still drinking my coffee, and I'm 2,100 words down. I will probably continue writing more after that because my main goal for this month is to finish the novel that I start, but I have hit my daily word count goal, and that's exciting. Now, looking at the things I've learned a little bit more concretely in the context of my artwork as a whole, I think one of the main things I've learned a lot about is composition. I've learned that for me personally, the way I need to approach composition is through the use of thumbnails. I definitely need to sketch out a few little ideas, and I need to make a conscious decision to plot out the rule of thirds in those thumbnails. Because if I don't plot it out, I won't have any idea what I'm doing. I think if you compare something like this piece that I am working on in today's video to my very first illustration, you can see a lot of improvement as far as composition is concerned. A big part of this is just I've been thinking about it more. I've been attempting to think through it and actually apply what I know about composition, as opposed to just going through the motions and drawing. And that's not to say that I won't go through the motions in the future, especially in sketchbooks. I don't know that composition is as much of an issue in something like a sketchbook. Of course, it wouldn't hurt because that's just more practice. But as far as illustrations are concerned, I have learned a lot about how to apply composition as a whole. I also feel like I've learned a lot about tonal values. And this is something I've been continuously talking about throughout the month because I didn't realize how bad I was at it until I was working solely in black and white and I was able to see the lights and darks for what they were. And if I compare my use of tones near the beginning of this challenge to my use of tones near the end of this challenge, I think I have improved a lot. Again, for me, a lot of these improvement things are a matter of thinking to do it. I didn't think about tones before Inktober started. It wasn't really in the forefront of my mind, and so when I went to create pieces, that showed. However, I do feel like because I have made such a habit of thinking about the lights and darks, I will be better when it comes to future pieces. Of course, there's always going to be the issue of translating this knowledge of tones to full color illustrations, because there is a very big difference between tones in color and tones in black and white. But that does give me a jumping off point for the future, and for that I'm very excited and just generally interested to see what the future holds. So if any of you have participated in Inktober this year, I would love to hear from you guys, and I would love to hear what you think you've learned from the challenge. Even though my typical schedule is to upload on Thursdays and Sundays, I do not think I will be uploading a video tomorrow, just because of the whole everything. But as of right now, I do think that I will be uploading a video on Sunday revolving around something to do with sketchbooks, or it also may be a monthly favorites video for October. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.